Welcome, dreamers. Tonight, I present you the download, the tech news series, starting weekly, maybe going more often. But we want you to dream big here at Digital-Reve, and I want you to dream of things that you want, because that's what we do here. You dream it, we build it. For things we can't build, I want you to dream big anyway. Excuse the mess we're still going through and getting the studio finally updated. We're doing a little bit of construction still, but everything should be cleaned up here very shortly. But without further ado, let's get started. And the first article actually comes from Samsung with the new Galaxy S20. You can now pre-reserve your pre-order. Interesting. Pre-reserving is just going to get you pretty much a spot in the front of the line to get in front of the line. Pre-order should go live February 11th, and we don't know a whole lot yet. Specs and rumors have greatly varied the various prices, from maybe $800 for the starting model all the way up to $1,700 for the fully spec'd out 5G S20 Ultra, whatever it is they decide to max out at. But if you are interested in getting some of the greatest tech for your smartphone needs and are a fan of Samsung, be sure to check out the Samsung pre-orders, and if you're really interested, you can pre-reserve a pre-order today. The next thing I want to talk about is actually a question that I get here all the time, whether it's through my channel or when I'm at places like Micro Center or something like that, and that's, how do I build a Cyberpunk 2077 gaming PC? And being that there's not a whole lot out yet, there's not a lot of great information, except being that we're looking at an open world title, I think Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be a pretty good indicator of what you're going to need hardware-wise. So, I've been reading a couple forums online, and just from my personal experiences, it's pretty straightforward. If you're looking at an Intel, you're going to want to look at the i5-9400F or the i5-9600K, depending on if you want to overclock or not. If you go the 9400F, go with an H310 board. If you're going to go the 9600K, look at a Z390 board. I'm a big fan of Gigabyte, and if you're trying to keep the budget, the UD series is pretty solid. 16 gigs of RAM is where I'm going to kind of spec you out. On Intel 3000, if you decide to go AMD, the Ryzen 5 3600 or 3600X I think would be more than capable for the game, and you could go with a B450 board, since we're probably not going to be looking at SLI, and if you want to keep the budget down, that's a great way to do that. You don't necessarily need to go X570. If you do, the Asus TUF board is a really great entry board. Not a whole lot of flash, but a solid, robust board that I think is really solid. Video card wise, Team Red, the RX 5700 I think would be a great option. You can spend a few dollars more and get the 5700 XT, and you can spend a few dollars more and get something like the 2070 or the 2070 Super and be set. That's going to give you solid 1080p, high refresh rate gaming in my opinion. The 2070 Super might start to push the 1440p, but with Red Dead Redemption 2, we're seeing a lot of hardware restrictions. So hopefully with some optimizations, will be this will be an under promise for an over deliver. But that's kind of what we're looking at. 550 watt or higher power supply. I always recommend 650 or better for setups like these, just so you have some extra horsepower under there for that efficiency section. But Cyberpunk 2077 does look like it's going to be a pretty amazing game, but it does look like it's going to have some pretty high requirements just based off what we've seen here with Red Dead Redemption 2. But the i5 or the Ryzen 5 processors, you could probably even go down to like a 2600 if you wanted to save some money on the Ryzen side. B450 or X570 board for Ryzen, H310 for Intel if you're not going to go a K-series processor, Z390 if you are. 16 gigs of RAM, DDR4 3000 megahertz or better, and then obviously Windows and a good solid state hard drive, preferably NVMe for your drive. If you want some more storage, you can always go mechanical. But we're going to have build series that are going to kind of talk about these, and I do have a plan, just got to figure out the logistics to do a Cyberpunk 2077 build. Lots of ideas in the head, working out a couple things here, so hopefully we'll see something like that soon. The next article I want to talk about is kind of a flash from the past. Sony Walkman. You interested in buying a brand new Android-powered Sony Walkman? And why? Why is this a thing? Well, while I haven't got my hands on one to actually listen to and play with, the idea here is this is for the hi-fi community. The audio quality from all the reviews that I've read online are fantastic. That's what this is designed for. High quality audiophile heads who want their lossless audio and things of that nature that you're just not going to get through a streaming service or be able to really handle on most mobile devices. I know LG has their DACs on the V40. I think that's a current series, but I know LG has DACs built into some of their phones. But that's really about it, especially since the headphone jack in the mobile world is failing. So if you're looking for something super high quality for audio, but you don't want to break the bank, it is kind of steep at $350, but Sony does have some super high quality, super premium models that are $1,200, $3,000 for those who are truly dedicated audiophiles who want that on the move. I can see that personally. When I want that, I'm going to sit down, I'm going to have my desktop DAC, I'm going to have my Sennheiser headphones, and I'd rather do that in the comfort of my own home, in my comfy gaming chair, maybe a glass of whiskey, maybe a cigar, who knows. But when I want that kind of thing, that's normally something that I like at home, but there are those people who do like high quality audio out and about, so the Walkman is going to be a great option for someone like that. This is a great way to do it. So the thing that people seem to complain about is the battery life's not that great. Now, high quality audio does require a lot of processing power, so that's probably going to be a lot of it. And it is expandable with an SD card. So $350 for the unit. Probably want to get a portable charger. Probably want to get a micro SD card just so you've got more storage and you've got more battery life. But if you're looking for something, this new Sony Walkman looks like it might be something that might be just up your alley. Be sure to check it out. And just because I didn't say it yet, it is the Sony Walkman NW-A105. There's also an A40 out there and a few other ones, but I'm referring to the A105. So this next story is all about Ampere, nVidia's next upcoming architecture for graphics cards. Now, you've probably seen the story already, especially if you follow anyone else who talks about tech news and things of that nature, but Indiana University is getting a new supercomputer. And it's called Big Red 200, and what's really nice about this, and really great about this, is it's supposed to set a record for most powerful supercomputer. Again, it's going to be powered by AMD EPYC 7742 Rome CPUs, and it was supposed to be powered by the current gen Tesla V100, which is a Volta-based GPU. Now, because of certain delays and things, this is actually going to get upgraded to nVidia's next gen Ampere GPU, which, based off of preliminary testings from all the results that I've read online and stories, we're looking at 70 to 75% faster than the Tesla V100s. Now, those are V100s, those are Volta, and that's what led to the Turing architecture that we have now, and things like the 2080 Ti that we have in Bane over here, 2080s that I have in the Batman computer. So while it's not necessarily going to be 75% faster than Turing architecture, we're not going to see necessarily a 75% increase from the 2080 Ti to the 3080 Ti. That's still really good. So it would be safe to say maybe 50% faster, maybe 33, maybe 60, who knows. But this supercomputer powered by the new Ampere GPUs is going to be ridiculous. So I'm really excited to see both what nVidia is going to bring to the game with the Ampere and what AMD is going to bring with Big Navi. So it'll be interesting to see hardware this year and next year. It's going to be really interesting with new Intel, new Ryzen, new Navi, new Ampere. China has a processor that's on the market. Be kind of cool to get my hands on one of those to see what that's like. But we'll have to keep an eye on all this and see what it does for competition and pricing, because that'll be good for us to know. And the last story that I have is an interesting one. Ancestry.com, as well as 23andMe and a few other ancestry and DNA services, have been served a court order in the state of Pennsylvania, my home state, to release information. Now, there's a lot of speculation, and I'm not going to get into the politics or the legality of on this channel. That's not what we're here for. But it's interesting to see that a company that has this much data is protecting its users, and it has stood on the grounds that if you as an individual want your data to be searched, you have to opt in to letting your genetic profile and familial information be available to be searched for connections to crimes and things like that. So you certainly can opt into that. Now only about 1 in 6 users have done so at this point, so we're not quite there. This could continue to climb up the Supreme Court, but we'll have to see. I just thought it was a really interesting article to read about, because when you play the numbers game of DNA matching, the more DNA entries you have, the more likely you are to find whatever it is you're looking for. So thank you so much. I hope you guys don't mind the download. I hope you don't mind the format. Please comment, share, subscribe below. I really want to know what you guys think. If there's tech articles that you want to see me cover and get my opinion on, let me know below. Like I said, this is something that we're going to be doing weekly. Ideally on Sundays or Mondays I'll be releasing this. I haven't quite figured out the schedule yet, but I'm just being honest with you guys. I do want to release a lot of great content on a regular basis, and tech news is something that's always changing. So as I read and learn, and I want to share some of the things that I've found with you guys, because the more we dream, the more we love, the more we learn, the more we want, and those are all good things. So good night, dreamers, and I hope you dream well. And remember, if you dream it, we can build it. Welcome to Digital-Reve.